Well, my aunt was reading the paper one day, and she saw an article about a Dr. Dobell who had developed this incredible artificial vision implant. The idea was that they could put these electrodes on my visual cortex, and I would be able to see via stimulation of these electrodes through a camera that would be on my sunglasses lens.
Dobell needed blind volunteers who'd been born with perfect vision and later lost it. And since Cheri had been 19 when she lost her sight back in 1989, she was just the sort of patient he was looking for.
He said that I was perfect for this surgery because of how I lost my sight, because I was 19 and my cortex was matured, and I had no optic nerves, I had no eyes, and that I would be good for this. It would probably work for me.
Cheri volunteered for surgery in 2003, 15 years after her original accident. The operation would be painful, expensive, and there was no guarantee that it would work. But Cheri was determined to become a pioneer of bionic vision, whatever the risks.
I wanted to help them to be able to use me to learn and further the project for other blind people.
Cheri felt this was an opportunity to turn her blindness into something positive, but her mother Susie wasn't so sure.
I was feeling very emotional about it. You know, I thought, oh, Lord God, is this really what you want her to do?
Cheri flew to Portugal for surgery in October 2004. But the day before the operation, she got a shock when the doctors explained exactly what it would involve.
They described to me how the surgery was going to take place, what would happen. And the doctor stood behind me, and he put his finger behind my right ear, and he traced a line up the side of my head, across the top of my head, and down the left side of my head behind my ear. And he said, we're going to make the incision here. And I was getting a little nervous. And he said, then we're going to pull your skull back.
Basically, this is a very simple craniotomy. You open the skull and expose the occipital lobe. You actually don't do anything to the brain itself. You want to leave it alone. And these, they look like little playing cards, essentially, with all these little electrodes poked through them. It lays on the brain.
I was looking at the thing that was going to go in her head, and all these little wires, you know, that come off of it. And I thought, they can't put that in her head just by putting two little holes, you know, one on each side of her head for the post to come out. There's no way. And to my fear, he showed us how they was going to put it in there.
He told me they would close my head up and drill holes in the back of my head so that the terminals could fit through.
In the autumn of 1989, Cheri had started college and had her whole life ahead of her.
We took him to a neurologist at 9 months of age to be examined, and the neurologist